Thank you for coming, and thank you for hunting for parking spaces. I know it was kind of premium tonight, at least when I got here, it was crazy, but thank you. This is such a momentous occasion. These are two bands who have never come together before, other than Tuesday night if you were there, but that here together. The Cedar Falls Municipal Band, let's have a hand for them being here tonight. Yay, we're so glad to have them. And your own Waterloo Municipal Band, woo! Right. And we're so glad to have all of you here for this concert and to enjoy some great music from both bands and some music as a combined band. So it will be wonderful. Thank you again for coming, and if you would please rise for the national anthem.
Good evening, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. As Julie said, this is a very, very special evening of music and camaraderie and pure Iowa. My name is Dr. Justin Mertz. I'm one of the band directors at UNI, and it's an honor to be one of the conductors of the Waterloo Municipal Band. We're going to play a few selections for you, followed by the excellent Cedar Falls Municipal Band, and then we will join forces, and I'm going to tell this joke again, to become a fully operational Death Star of community music here in Iowa. I see you laughing, Barry. All right, so we're very, very happy to have you all here. It's a really, really great evening to celebrate a wonderful Iowa tradition, and frankly, we finally have the weather we deserve. So, hope you enjoy it. We're going to start with a piece by Austrian composer Thomas Doss with a very upbeat, energetic overture called Fanatic Winds. Next is a really lush, beautiful piece by Japanese composer Yukiko Nishimura. It's called Ancient Flower, and it uses sort of Western melody with Eastern harmonic and orchestration techniques. It's a really interesting fusion of musical cultures, and it's a real change of gears from the Fanatic wind, so we hope you enjoy Ancient Flower. we're going to change cultural gears for a moment. That was Japanese influence. Now we're going to move to a piece with Irish influence. Famous American band composer Samuel Hazo was commissioned to write a piece for the director of a band at a high school in not Geneseo, Oswego, Illinois. Those are two different cities in upstate New York, near where I'm from. And the band director retired for 35 years, and she was Irish, and he wrote a piece called Solas, which means yesterday's joy in Gaelic, to celebrate her long career with her students. And it uses a lot of Irish percussion rhythm and orchestration. You'll hear things like piccolo and bass clarinet together and mixed with oboe. It's a very Irish sound to mimic the uilleann pipe that you get from traditional Irish folk music. So we hope you enjoy Solas Ane.
stay here. All right, so now it's time for our tradition at the Waterloo Band is to have a children's march. So any kids or any people who feel young at heart, come on down and we're going to do the children's march. And the children's march tonight is about the Iowa band law. And maybe you've heard a lot about laws and bills and all that kind of stuff in the news, but this Iowa band law was a law that was presented to so that cities that were less than 40,000 people could levy a small tax to support municipal bands like this and support music education, because that's really what we're all about, is music education and keeping music. You like to listen to music, right? Keeping music alive. And this was kind of the launching for the school music programs, the school band programs, and all of that was this Iowa band law, which was terrific. Now, if you are going to be in band, okay, see the band, do you see any instruments that you might like to play? Do you have an instrument you'd like to play?
The drum.
The drum. What would you like to play?
The flute.
The flute. What would you like to play? You don't know? That's okay. There's a lot to choose from. Do you have an instrument?
Piano.
Piano. Okay. Well, we don't have one here, but we do sometimes. Okay. Do you know an instrument? Or maybe you want to be the conductor. You were kind of practicing that.
Conductor.
You want to be the conductor. Okay. Well, that's important too. Recorder, like a flute, right?
The saxophone.
Saxophone, all right. There's a good man, right? The saxophones agree with that. So we're going to play the Iowa band law, and it was, this was written by Karl King. Karl King directed the Fort Dodge Municipal Band, and he wrote this piece in honor of Major George Landers, who proposed this bill, got it going, that all these municipal bands would keep going, and now that has kind of been rolled into another thing, and it's not as much in existence as it used to be, but we still need to support these municipal bands and keep our music education going. So, without further ado, the Iowa band law. Cedar Falls Band to play for you as we switch over. I'd like to thank the City of Waterloo for most of our funding to support our band. And we also like to thank Ed, our videographer, Ryan, our photographer. Yes. And Macy, our Tootsie Roll and programs greeter. Our Cedar Falls Band is conducted by Henze and Jim Vowels. And they will do a couple of numbers and then we'll pull it all together. So we thank you for coming and enjoying our music, and then after that we'll put them all together. Now if you don't know, the way the municipal bands work is that we practice one day and we perform the concert the next day. So we have one rehearsal and then we have new music the following week. So this week we all practiced together on Monday. We did the concert on Tuesday, and then we came here and did the concert on Thursday. So these are people who are really dedicated to their music and their instrument and love playing for you. We kind of call it our own little therapy. Thank you. There's a conductor. I was wondering if you could hear. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this is Ken Henze, and he's the first conductor with the Cedar Falls Municipal Band. They're going to do a little warm-up, and then they'll play for you.
Hey, hi, welcome. Thanks for having us. We feel like we've been very well welcomed. Our first piece is the Melendy-Downs March. It was written by our own trombonist Paul Ryder over here. And our beloved former director Dennis Downs in Cedar Falls won the Melendy Award for the city of Cedar Falls, and that's how this piece got its name. So here's the Melendy-Downs March. Thank you. I'd like to welcome our co-conductor, Jim Vowels, to the podium, and he'll tell you about the next piece. Woo! He brings a fan club with him.
Good evening. My name is Jim Vowels, and Ken and I have been co-directing this together for 3 years. And it's a real pleasure to be here with you tonight. And I don't know if the band's feeling, we were in our home place Tuesday, so it's kind of like, yeah, this is what we're used to doing. And tonight it's kind of like, oh, this is different. And what a beautiful setting you guys have here. This is just absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so congratulations and good job, City of Waterloo. Now, with all those niceties, we're going to play a tune that's really sad. It is called On a Hymnsong, Philip Bliss. It is a beautiful, beautiful song that has just lots of pushes and pulls and emotion in it. And I'm going to try not to be emotional when I say this, but I just found out yesterday afternoon that my high school band director passed away. So, and he wasn't that much older than me, but he is the reason I became a teacher. And I only had him 1 year. He came my senior year. And the person I had before him was just mean. He was super mean. And when Greg Lyons came my senior year, he taught me that I could love it and I didn't have to be yelled at to do well. And so I would like to dedicate this tune to my good friend and mentor, and I just love it. All of it great. So thank you.
Well, Julie's down here playing hide the microphone. Hide the microphone from Ken. Hey, we're going to end our little set here with one more piece. It's a medley of songs that were kind of, I don't know, maybe not resurrected is the right word, but sort of given a little rejuvenation by Michael Bublé. The pieces in this are Moon Dance, I've Got You Under My Skin, and Save the Last Dance for Me.
Cedar Falls Band. How about another hand for them? That I think wonderful? Yes, very good. Okay, so we're going to try to combine the two bands very quickly and quietly as we move into place. And while they're doing that, I want to point out that Cedar Falls plays another concert on Tuesday in Overman Park at 7:30. So you can catch that, and the price is right. It's free, just like here. And then next Thursday is our final concert of the season. And we will actually have a pre-show with the Iowa Trombones that will start at 6:30. And then our concert will be at 7:30. So I hope that you can all come. Those of you who are here tonight, are there people who've never been to a Waterloo Band concert? Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. Thank you for coming. And we hope that you'll continue to come to the Waterloo concerts and continue to go to the Cedar Falls concerts and support the arts and support what we do in everything. Now, while everybody's you're not seated yet. You were supposed to be done by now. All right, that's okay. Maybe, I'm not in my seat, but you know. And so anyway, we hope that you'll continue to return. When we do our concerts on Thursday night, if there's rain, we are inside the Arts Center. So you can always come inside the Arts Center and enjoy a night of wonderful music. And we really love our conductors, Justin Mertz and Danny Gallion. And I want to thank one more time to Ken Henze for really helping, working with me to put this all together and doing so much. You did a lot, Ken. You did a lot. Thank you. About a hand for Ken and helping organize this. This was wonderful, you know. Maybe we'll be picked up by national news or something, you know, how amazing it is. I know. That's why. I'm hoping the Today Show picks it up and we're, you know, flying to New York tomorrow, but who knows, you know. But before we go on, if you're in your places yet, Miss Blake, you have to understand, Miss Blake was my junior high band director, so. She was very young at that time. Are you lost? Before we do this first number, I would like to point out that there are a number of people in the band that actually play in both bands. And I'd like to have the people who play in both bands, both the Cedar Falls and Waterloo, please stand up and get a hand. Those of you who play in both bands. Isn't that wonderful? Great. Thank you so much. And our first number is conducted by, I forget you, Mr. Ken Henze, one more time. And I'll try to find my seat now.
I'll try to remember to turn the mic off. We're going to let them play just about 10 seconds on their own, take a tuning pitch, and then we will start with the Karl King classic, Barnum and Bailey's Favorite. Our next piece is entitled Amerland by Jacob de Hahn, and it is a region in northern Germany, and the composer had visited this region and kind of wrote down some of his impressions in music. He talks in the program notes about the unique landscape, the vineyards with yellow blooms, and just kind of the beauty and the grandeur of the place. And I think that really comes through in this piece. This is Amerland. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce again Justin Mertz to the podium.
Thank you for turning on the mic so I don't have to. Okay, this next piece is by famous American wind composer Alfred Reed, and it was written in 1962 to celebrate a band festival at a very small university in Ohio. It was the University of, I don't remember which one, and it was an event where there were community ensembles and academic ensembles, and they all came together and did some combined things, and we thought it'd be really fun to do a piece to celebrate our collaboration tonight. his thunder, this next piece has a really great title, and they sound to really get on it. It's awesome. Come on up there, Jimbo. I'll never try that again. Okay, here we go.
Just want to say thanks again for having us tonight. Thanks to Justin and Julie and Ken, who did all the planning, and everybody else who bought into it. And what's cool is that, who do you think won tonight? Everybody won. Everybody won. We didn't compete. We all got here to make music together, and you came here to listen to us all. So everybody wins. So yeah, I think that's a big deal. The boxcar reads, the box score. Everybody wins. Okay. The next tune, or the last tune I'm going to conduct, is called the Rusty Bucket. So it's kind of a novelty tune, kind of fun. It's going to feature a lot of the clarinets and baritone, oboe. There's other things that are going on. And it's called the Rusty Bucket and Other Juke Joints by one of my favorite composers these days, Karl Brittin Chambers. This is the Rusty Bucket.
We are going to finish up, as the Waterloo Municipal Band traditionally does, with our arrangement of America the Beautiful. Remember that Cedar Falls Municipal Band next Tuesday, Waterloo Municipal Band next Thursday, and we hope that you'll join both groups in celebrating the end of yet another successful season for both groups. I moved here from New York. I'm starting my 9th year living in Iowa, and one of the things that made me choose to stay, one of the many things that made me choose to stay, is just the depth and breadth and astonishing welcomingness of the musical community in Iowa. There are people on this stage from all walks of life, every profession you can imagine. And what they have in common is that they make music, and you know, it's not heaven, it's Iowa. So it's a real unique thing, and it's so special, and working with both groups has been just the best pleasure and ultimate privilege. And I've got one more metaphor for you. We hope you enjoy the combined band Voltron playing, I'm sorry, I'm a huge nerd, playing America the Beautiful, and we'll see you hopefully next week at Overton Park and here at the Riverview. Thank you again.